This card began with a carefully chosen colour palette, but once the Christmas cats got involved, the plan took a mischievous turn. Now there's 3 cards. I like to sketch out my card plans in advance and also at the same time work out what colour palette I'm going to be using. This saves so much time when you're creating. And this first card began as part of my lesson for my new Colour Made Easy for Cardmakers class, and I'll be sharing a little bit more about that as we go. So the main colour that I'm going to use on my first card is pink. And for a bit of fun, I thought it'd be nice to have a pink background, like the whole background of my card is going to be pink. And then I'm going to bring in some neutrals and a couple of coordinating colours that I chose to go with this collection of pastels. And these are Christmas cards today that we're making using some really pretty products that are from Spellbinders, starting with a cool embossing folder background. It just adds that little bit of detail to a plain coloured background and somewhere that's going to help give a focal point for my whole design because it's shaped like a frame, so it's actually going to frame my design. Next, I've got a ton of die cutting to do, and I like to try and do most of my die cutting at the same time, and I also like to cheat a little bit and die cut multiples. Sometimes I don't exactly know what color I want to use where, so having those little extra bits and pieces can make life much easier if I'm wanting to look at this color or that color. But also what it does is it gives me a ton of extras to make more cards very quickly because the elements are already made and put together. And I've got all my supplies out, so I might as well be making more than one. Now I like to roll lots of different die cuts and colored cardstock through my die cutting machine all at once, and this is another great time saver. And then what I like to do is separate all the loose pieces, but I kind of keep them together as best I can. Now, this is a great way to keep like with like, and it does make it easier to assemble the bits down the track because all of my tree elements are together, all of the decorations are together, the cat die cuts, they're all together. It makes it so much easier. And yes, there are a lot of little tiny pieces here, and that's okay because I just kind of turn the music up and do this in production line style. So all of the decorations for the tree get put together at once, all of the cats get assembled at once. I do keep the layering guide, like the packaging, or also there are downloadable layered guides. If you're not sure how to assemble something, check out the links for where you can buy the products, and that will show you how these are meant to go together rather than guessing. Sometimes there's these random bits of die cut that you think you just don't know what they're for, and these guides are perfect for a little bit of enlightenment sometimes, shall I say. Now this is all layered die cuts here. So when I was choosing my colours, I did choose coloured cardstocks. But if you don't have enough coloured cardstock or you don't have the exact match of colour that you want to make the combination that you're looking for, you can always head towards your inks and also use markers or even watercolours to create the perfect colour for your combination. And when I'm joining these layered die cuts, I do typically use a liquid glue. I find that's easier because I can move the pieces and align them perfectly. And it's excellent if you've got a real fine tip on the liquid glue because you can make really small dots with the glue, and mostly it doesn't come out the sides, but if it does a little bit, I usually just wipe that away with a blade or even my tweezers sometimes. And doing this in production line style, it might feel like a slog, but promise you, it makes it so much easier when you're assembling. So you may notice that I built up the sides of this front panel for the card, and that's because these 3D embossing folders have such a deep impression that I didn't want to lose that edge. It would probably get a bit squashed in the post, so I just cut some scrap white cardstock and layered that up and added around the edge. And I decided to hot foil the sentiments and added too much pressure. I added one too many shims, but instead of wasting it, I just brought a stencil brush out. It's got quite stiff bristles on it, and just swept away some of the excess hot foil. And I also used a soft eraser, like it's just a normal white eraser here, and that can also help fix up over foiling. And to assemble the card, I just used a combination of foam tape and liquid glue and also some glue tape. But if I am going to pop anything up, I do like to double up my elements so that they don't get all floppy on the card. And I did behead one of the cats. Don't freak out. I was going to use the head of the cat like popping out of the tree, but by the time I added all the other elements to this card front, it just was too busy for me. I tend to err on the side of clean and simple cards, and often the more I add, the more I take away. So for me, having the 3 cats here was just too much with all the decorations and everything. So I decided to discard that, and I did change up my plan a little bit from what I originally did. And that's the good thing about having a sketch. I wasn't obliged to stick exactly to the sketch, but it gave me somewhere to start without overthinking it. When I was sitting down to create, I actually had somewhere to start. And that's the same for choosing color combinations. Having a place to start can make all the difference. And I know that's a struggle for so many people. So that's why I decided to create my course. So this card ended up very similar to my sketch. I think it's a lot prettier than my sketch. But there is a few things that did change along the way. And because I had all those leftover pieces, including my beheaded cat, that I still wanted to have poking through the tree, I thought I might as well use some of these pieces and make another card. This time I die cut a pale blue tree and used a craft knife to cut an opening in the tree where I want the cat's head to be bursting through. In my mind, I had it kind of pictured that the tree would be like, when the paper bursts through, you have it all kind of sticking out around you, but it just wasn't working, and it wasn't going to be easy to put the cat together like that. So I did a little bit of the tree coming forward with the cat's head poking through, but most of it I just ended up pushing behind the tree itself or getting rid of it altogether because it was hidden by the die cut cat's head. But I was still able to give the impression of the cat bursting through the tree, even though it wasn't the exact way that I was wanting it to look. I'll have to maybe practice on my tree bursting techniques a little more. And I used some really thin foam tape to give that cat head just a little bit of dimension coming out of the tree. And that seemed to work pretty well. And I knew that I was going to be popping up the tree, so I did come in and add another die cut tree behind it. I had to die cut just a couple of extra pieces for these cards, but very little really. So I'm using more blue in this design. I decided to make that my main color, and I have this snowflake background here that I've added some ink to. This is a really pale blue ink. It's really pretty, and it gives like a subtle look. This is just regular cardstock that I'm using with the Better Press here, nothing fancy, and it works beautifully. This is some 80-pound Nina cardstock. Now I've attached that directly to the front of the card and then used some of my leftover pieces to decorate the tree. I also used some leftover pieces of my cat. I was trying to make him look whole again. So, or maybe it's a her. She is wearing pink. I added the tail to the tree as well and decorated it with some of my elements. And then I just thought, for a bit of fun, I would add some hanging legs out of the tree as well, just because they were there and I was going to end up throwing them away. I seriously just kept grabbing out of all these little pieces that I had on my desk. I was having such a fun time putting these cards together that I decided to make another one, because I had 3 sentiments that I made when I was making the first card. So I thought, and I still had leftover pieces. So this time I'm using the grey as my main colour. Now I know grey is a neutral, it's not technically a colour, but it's my main colour here. It's my main dominant neutral, but it's doing a great job of being a colour on my card. And I know some of you will agree with me there. But this cat is tangled in the fairy lights, and for a bit of fun I decided to add him to a spinner mechanism. But when you use spinner mechanisms or any interactive card, you need to make sure that it's going to work on your design. It's not going to hit other pieces of your design when the mechanism is moving. So that's why I'm testing the spinner before I adhere it down. These are such fun. There's actually a really small spinner as well, and I could probably have used one of those on this particular cat, but that's the larger size that I'm using here. And these are the same colors that I've used in all 3 cards, but they look quite different. Well, the cards look quite different overall. And because I had all those extra pieces, they all came together very quickly. So altogether now, I've got my original card that I sketched out and created the color palette for my Color Made Easy course. And it came together very closely to what I'd planned, mostly in the main color being pink. Then I've got my main color is the gray, added the spinner interactive element and used leftover pieces for this card, and also leftover pieces and added a fun snowflake background for my final card here. And this has a different main color out of the same combination of colors, but this one's blue, so it was easy to change it up and a lot of fun to do. Oh, and I did decide to give my little cat something to stand on. I thought his legs are going to get tired. So if you'd like a little help to choose colors and color combinations and get more confident using colors in your card making, then why not join my free Color Made Easy email course? I've got the link in the description below. I'm so glad you were here with me today. If you did enjoy these cards and this video, please click the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's totally free. I look forward to seeing you back here again real soon. Till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.